Afternoon, everybody. How are we doing today? Is it nice and sunny where you are, or not so much? They did say actually that good weather's coming, so if it's a little bit rainy, you can look forward to that. And of course, we're indoors now, or most of us are anyway, and ready to do our tile number 366. Gosh, never ends, does it? Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe you've had a break from it. Maybe you've got to catch up on a few. But it's nice to know, isn't it, that they're always there and that we keep going with it. And it's not something that we're hopefully not going to end anytime soon. So, all right, what we're doing today then, I've got a pink sorbet tile. You can tell, look, I've actually inked it on the other side. There it is, I've thrown a little bit on it. Now, when I say thrown a bit on it, I've actually put some of my dual brush pens onto a glass mat. I've spritzed it, a lot of water, and then I've actually dipped the tile into it. So that's the way it's worked there for me, and it's given me this sort of mottled effect. I've just let it dry in the sun out of the way. So, okay, it doesn't matter where we start or how we're going to do this. I think I'm going to pick a corner. I'm going to go with decisions. I'm going to go with this one, this bit of orange here. And first thing I'm going to do is come in with a pencil. I'm going to give myself a little bit of an oval shape. Doesn't have to be perfectly oval, but when I say oval, not too oval. How do we explain that? Bit of an oval just to get us going. Okay, here we are. See, a little bit of an angle there, and we can get rid of that later. We don't particularly need it, and it's just a bit of a guide for us. Okay. Now, any that you find here and you think, well, I don't want to go straight in with pen, you don't have to. You can come in with a pencil if you want and add pen later. But yeah, and again, when you don't feel you've got to catch up and don't feel that you've got to go all the way back to the beginning and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're just starting or you've picked up on a few, pick on, I don't know, maybe start at 200 and do 200, 210, 220, 230, that kind of thing. It's quite nice to do that. So I don't think you've got to start at the beginning. Things have changed since we started. So, okay, are we ready then? So I'm not going to start smack bang on the end here. I'm going to come in sort of about the middle, but maybe a little bit further down, see? And you can see here, look, I'm actually doing it so I've got it vertical. I'm going to go in a little bit bigger for it. There you are. And then I'm going to create a curved line this way. And a curved line this way. Oh, Pam, if you're worried about a tile, it's not quite going right, move on to the next one. You can always go back to it later. It's no big deal. It really isn't. Okay, I'm going to put one in here. This one looks a little bit big. It's going out of that shape. And then let's do in this one here. Again, this one's going to come out slightly. All right, so we've got that if we're looking at the tile that way. So if I then, I'm going to come from this point again and I'm going to create another one of these. You see how it overlaps? But it's not overlapping that one, just that one. And then this one. And then again, see, I'm going to start from the same point in this one. Overlaps that one. It comes down to this. And then again. Overlaps, goes down, so you've got that kind of a thing going on. All right, so looking at my little gaps here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to fill them with bubbles. Now, if you've got any gaps, you could come in and put them in with a bit of ink and go around. And each one, see that one looks like it's going underneath that one, so I'm going to make that appear so. Oh yeah, Pam, move on, try something different. Jump a few. You can always go back to it if you really want to later. Pick one that you like the look of and start there. That's a nice way to look at it, isn't it? I know what you mean. All right, so looking at this one and this one, I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to come from the bottom here and I'm going to create a little loop, put a line in. Now I quite like doing the loop and then the line at the same time. It's sort of all in one pen motion. So you can do it either way. You can do all the loops first and then put the lines in if you want to. But I do like to do it that way. Okay, and that one. There we go. All right. So let's have a look at the next bit then. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to come in with this one and I'm going to create a loop. I'm just going to go slightly out of my oval. Remember, I said that oval was just a guide. And then let's put a couple of loops in there. That one's big enough, I can get a little line in. Put the other two a little bit small. Hello, Caitlin. Are you joining in with us? All right, so there we're at. So if I come in again from this point, and this one I'm going to come down and around, create that kind of a shape. Let's do that on this side too. They don't have to be exact. Okay. And then I'm going to do another one. You see, this time though, it's sort of coming off that first. A little bit of a gap there. I just felt it needed it. Like that. And then here, look, I can fill that in. And fill that one in. So it's definitely behind. Hello, Jan. Wherever you may be, being that it's morning. Let's put a little line in there. See, I'm following the curve. Following the curve. So far, so good. So let's look at this point here. I'm going to go back to it and extend that one out. Play point. And then on this one, I'm going to put a line in the middle and then one either side. And then a little dot, tiny dot. Little dot, tiny dot. I could even get 3 in there. Look, if you can get that in, go for it. Okay. So from this one then, I'm going to come in with another sort of down here. Again, put a little line in. And another one down here. And put a line in. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to create a bigger one. Put the line in. And the same here. Put the line in. Okay, let's just have a little look at that. So quite a lot of going on here, isn't there? We've got quite a few bits and pieces, but nice, like the idea of that one. So let's come in and start on this side now. So again, if you want to, just to help you out a little bit, you can bring your pencil in and you can put a bit of a curve along the edge there. You can go completely freehand if you want, but I know some of us like to have little gauges so you know where you're going. So I don't know, maybe sort of 3. Let's see where that takes us. If you want to go completely freehand, that's absolutely fine. So in again, back to pen, and I'm going to start in the middle. And again, if you want to, put yourself a little line so you know where your middle bit is. And I'm going to come in straight across the top here, and I want to put in a petal there. Okay, see, it's going to go behind everything else. And then let's do another one. Now, don't be a slave to that line that you've drawn. Don't feel that you've got to keep it on there because you haven't. Okay? I'm not going to go down any further than that. You see how it's sort of over, each one goes over the other? So let's do similar on this side. Don't count them and think you've got to have the same amount. We're just going to work our way around. Let's have a look at that. You see, it needs another one. Let's put another one in. Okay, and notice that that one's a little bit over. That one is as well, but I've not tried to make them the same. It's fine. So looking at all of these now, let's come in and do 1, 2 and 3. And same on there. So I'm going to come and do my lines first, and then I'm going to do my dots. Okay, all my lines first. So there I might just put 2 in at the bottom. Right. As if I got a rubber on there somewhere. Can I put that? Thank you.
There you go.
I can't reach it, it's my desk now so wide. I've put 2 desks back to back. So I've got one for drawing on, and one for IT work. Only I've been drawing on my IT desk. Not on it, but actually at my IT desk. Yeah, I think Leslie's locked her out. Starting at the top left. Leslie shut the door and locked herself in.
I didn't shut it, Sarah shut it.
Did she? Shout at her. Sarah's locked Leslie out. You'll have to knock. It's not good, is it? Just locked her out. Oh dear. Do you know? I don't know. Good job they know each other, isn't it? Talking about them next. There you go. There we go. She only came to fetch my cup. And Sarah locked her out. We've actually got little locks on the door, and as much as we don't really want locks on the door, they're there, you know what I mean? And John keeps saying he'll take them off, but I suppose we've got to have some security in places, so. Okay, there we are. See what we've got there so far? Looks good, doesn't it? See this little bit here? I'm going to come in, I'm going to put a little curve on the top and then fill it in with ink. There you go. I'll just thicken that bit up. There you are. And same on this one. And so I'll work my way around. So we've got that on those. Okay. So let's move on to the next row. So these are quite straight, and it's nice to have that. So let's bring one in again. Sorry, but I'm going to put a little bit of a kink in it. A little bit of a kink in it. So it's not necessarily all going to match and up that line. It's just a guide. So coming this side, we're going to have more of a curve this way, less of a curve that way. More of a curve, less of a curve. Okay, and you notice that I'm not really following that line so much anymore. Again, it's there as a little bit of a guide if I want it, so I can see where it's working. Oh, Gladys, yeah, we do need to do it, don't we? Maybe, yeah, I'll do that. Maybe after this. And I'll, because it's, I mean, there's still a lot to do, as you can imagine. But, absolutely, yeah. Leslie, they want a video of the new HQ.
Oh, I'll have to do one after.
You'll do one after, yeah. I say it's a little bit still work in progress in places.
Yeah,
But
it's getting there though.
It is getting there. Okay, so we've got this row. I'm going to put some stripes, but only in some of them. So I'm going to start at the point. I'm going to work my way down and down. Okay. Oh, Maureen, we've joined the original HQ with the new HQ, which is next door. So we actually broke in through the, broke in through a hole that we put in the wall, which has been professionally done, okay? Now I'm not going to do one, miss one, one, miss one. I know this sort of goes against everybody's randomness. I know it's not your favourite, but here we go. I'm going to put one there, you see? And then this side, I'm going to put one, let's do one here. Okay, there you are. So, there we go. That one. Let's have a little look at all of it. Okay, so I've done a few and left a few, but I've not done the same on both sides. I know you think, oh, it's a bit scary. If you feel that you want to put all lines in or you want to keep with all these dots, please, you can actually do it. But sometimes it's nice to just sort of do something a bit different, but I'm not making you do it. If you want to do all the same, you are more than welcome to, okay? So, comes to our last one now. Here we go. I'm going to put in one there, look, and one there. So you see they're not necessarily sort of straight or going one way. They're sort of wandering around a little bit now. See? Do one in here. I'll get another one in. Oh, Maureen, yes, there's quite a bit of room. Okay. So again, I'm going to pick a couple of these and put the lines in. Again, I'm going to go with this one, I think. See, I've started in the middle there, just to give me an idea of where I'm going. And perhaps one more. Okay, in there. So, we go with that one. So I'm going to choose just a couple again, and let's put some bubbles in these little rows here. And you know, you don't have to have them on the same, but again, if you want to, you can colour them in and have them stripy if you want. You can put every other one with bubbles. You can leave it, bubbles down the middle, whatever works. Oh, Maureen, there is plenty of space for people to get lost now. There's a few rooms in this one. It's a little bit different layout-wise than the other. And let's do one here. Okay. All right. So let's mean that Leslie made me a cup of tea. Oh, there we go. All right, so yeah, you can do that. That's fine. It works. I'm glad your order arrived. Let's see there. Look, I'm going to just fill those gaps in. We do our best. We really do. I know sometimes there are problems. Everybody has problems and issues with the post. I think, honestly, I'm waiting for one of mine. It's 10 days overdue now, so I'm going to leave it till Friday, and if it hasn't arrived, I'm going to go through the process. And if it hasn't arrived by, I don't get anything back, I'm in there on Monday, so I shall go and ask directly. I know I do have that advantage. But, you know, orders do go missing from time to time, and as long as we deal with it. Okay, putting some bubbles in that one, look. Fill in the gaps. There we go. So same sort of thing as I did before here, but you can see that they're all slightly different size lines, or different lengths anyway. It just helps out a little bit. You can see where they slightly curve at this top edge, because they're coming in with the sort of design of the petals themselves. So another one here, see? Put those lines in. And there we go. So a couple of little bits going on. See, we need a little bit more strength here. So we see where we've got this little bit. Let's have a look. And I can fill it completely all with ink, or come in with some bubbles at the top end and fill it in. So we've got a little bit of blackness there. There you go. Gives it a little bit of interest, doesn't it? And I might as well put little dots on them. Just sort of fits in better with everything else, doesn't it? And same there as well. Okay. So let's have a little look at that. And let's have a little amount of these. Oh, Sam, honestly, those kind of shows are never really planned. It's almost a case that Liam texts me and says, can I have? But he's not done that for a little while, so I have no idea when those kind of shows come on. Here we are. Imagine now getting your colour pencils out and giving this a little bit of colour on top of that bit of inking. Okay, I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove the pencil that's on there. There you go. And I'm going to come in with my regular pencil again. If you want to, you can colour this, but I'm going to stick with the monochrome today and go with that. So let's enlarge and see where we're going. Oh, if it lets me, there you go. First thing then, you see we've got these little bubbles. So I'm going to come in and add a little bit of pencil just to the larger ones, like a little smile, like a little sort of bit of a side highlight there. I'm going to try and fill the whole thing. And then these may be a little bit small, but so there, we can make that a bit rounder, look, adding that in. If they're too small, don't worry about it, but if you can get pencil in, you can add a touch. Alright. You see, just like little curves on there. You can come in with it and highlight little dots if you want to in a bit. So that's that bit. So looking at my loops, a little bit at the bottom of each. And gives it a starting point. And maybe just a touch at the bottom edge. And coming in, I'm going to go just at the bottom of those. And loops. And we go with that bit, bottom of those loops. And the same there, bottom of the loops. And let's put some in there. And I'm going to put some around there as well. Okay, so next bits, I'm going to go at the top, this one, and I'm going to go around that little bit there. So here, I'm going to go around that side and a bit at the top. And same again, look, a bit at the top, that side, and a bit at the top. Same there, look. Okay, turning it round. So as before, look, I'm going to go around that and then a bit there and a bit at the top. Always that bit, a bit at the top, and then this one, and at the top. Okay. So similar sort of thing as we work our way around now. So if I start in this centre-ish one, we sort of need our shading there. So we could do that all the way around. It gives it an easier way of looking at it. You see, I'm not being too neat with that either, it's not a problem. And then here, let's do that side on that row. And then this side on this one. then a little bit at the top of each. Yeah. Let's see, missed a bit. Oh, it's a different rubber today. I've not even tried that electric one yet. I need to get that. It's at home. I've still got my tatty little one. That's on my desk the other side somewhere. Right. Same again. But of course there's slightly fewer petals this time, so don't need to go completely mad with those. And then again, just sort of on the tops there. Okay. Let's have a little look at that. Alright, okay. So, tortillon, and I'm going to just enlarge again so we can see what we're doing. And a quick sip of tea, of course. So if we start in the middle, and we want this bit to be quite dark, so I'm going to go over those loops there. There's plenty of graphite there to do that. Let's do those little loops. We did put a little bit at the bottom. Okay, not covering everything, just a little bit there. And then let's do those little bubbles. See, I'm just going sort of over the lines in a bit of a curve, so I'm not trying to do anything crazy there. And a little bit at the bottom. Again, we're just trying to blend it out, but we don't want it to cover the whole thing. I want to try and leave some of that original tile there. It's just sort of softening it off enough. You see the difference? It's very clear, isn't it? It blends it out. And here we go with these. And let's sort of look. Again, softening it off. Got that little bit done. And then this one here. You see, I'm going to do top and bottom and leave that little bit of a gap there. So even though we've not really done top and bottom, we've done the tops of these, it's still going to work in that way. That's wherever you've got a little bit of pencil, it needs softening out a little bit. But it's always good to systematically work your way around like this, because usually I forget something. And doing it this way, I can then sort of remind myself that I should be adding pencils somewhere along the line. Okay. So, sort of in and around there. And then on to the next level. Oh, I don't know, so nice to blend out to nothing, so I get a line. All right, we'll put some white on here in a minute. I'll see if I can work out what's going on. Right. Okay. See, sort of see little bits. Now you notice that these little bubbles up here, they're so small, I'm not even going to try and add any pencil to it. Or soften it off in any way. I'm just not going to go there. Let's see. Not worth the hassle there. Okay. Alright, so you see it's softening out pretty well. I could always go back in and do another layer if you need it darker anywhere. And you could come in with your black pencil. Let's have a little look at this. Okay, so it'd be quite nice to go back in here, see, and darken that bit up. So let's do that. Again, as I say, you could come in with a black pencil and do this. But let's use what we've got. That's better. And I'm just I don't want it to move too far, so I transfer to swirls. See how that really makes that stand out. And I think a little bit more in there. how that makes that a little bit darker there. Okay, so let's have a look at this white pencil then. White pencil, they are chalk, and you see, look, I've got a little bit of darkness on there. I want to get rid of that, so I'm just going to remove it. Well, you can see, look, there's the chalk. It's quite brittle. If sometimes you find that you're getting a scratchy mark or scratch, it feels scratchy when you're using it, remove that top edge. You know, just scratch a little bit off and it'll help a little bit. But let's have a look, see what I'm doing. So let's try it on these. So here, look. If I fill those in, you see, because I've took that little bit of a top off, I'm not getting a scratchy bit. You see? And I'm not really being particular about where it goes in that sense. But then we do need a clean tortillon, which I've never got. It's the same with everybody, isn't it? I got one. 1 second. Oh, here we go. Just so happens to have, look, 3 tortillons in a pack. Look at that. Okay, clean tortillon. So I'm hardly touching the surface there. Hardly. And because I'm only touching the outsides, you see. Let's go a little bit bigger if we can. Oh yeah. Let's have a look at this one. You see, it's still sitting on the surface, you see, because of all the, you can see all the chalk there. But I'm touching that outside edge. I'm not trying to blend the whole thing. Let's have a look around there, see. Okay, let's do another. Just around the edge. Okay. Just around the edge. See there? Let's just push, break it up a little bit. All right. Oh, the graphite. I was going to say. What, you mean lines like this here? Again, let's try it with this pointed then. Sometimes circles and then straights. Circles and then straights. See? If you find that it's not doing what you want it to do and you still got a line, you see, like okay, you got a little bit of one there, or like here, look, rather than keep the line, come back in, or like finishing. All right, hang on a minute. You come on in and then add a little bit more to it, and then push it out. All right, so finishing, if you really need to, let's have a look. Let's do that a little bit there. So let's go out a little bit. Okay, just going to turn it over. So if I've got some graphite, okay, I'm going to hold my tortillon. There's my tortillon. I usually hold it about halfway, and that starts it off. Okay, and it works pretty well. Okay, it's quite a lot of graphite to use there, but you see you're starting to get that bit of a blend. And then what I'll do is I'll move it out further, and then that means there's less of movement and I can't put as much pressure on. So you see it's a lot softer, and even then move it a bit further and a lot softer. But if that doesn't answer your question, Sue, next time I see you, you'll have to show me what you mean and I'll sort it out for you. But if the further back you hold your tortillon, the less pressure you can apply onto your piece. Whereas here, it sort of moves it and I can really be tough with it. But here, if I press on, I can't so much. And I press on here, I can't so much. So it's all about pressure. And if that helps, but yeah, that hopefully gives you a little bit of an insight. But if not, next time I see you, you'll have to show me. Okay, so back in. And I'm just going to add just a couple of touches of white. I'm not going to particularly blend these out because I don't want them to be completely at the forefront. I want to have this as the main bit. Oh, thanks everyone. Yeah, that's okay. We get there, see, we get there. I know sometimes until you actually do it, you don't realise, and you get in a bit of a problem. It can be frustrating, but I'm sure we can always answer it some way, shape or form. So it's just over Facebook without a conversation can be tricky. There we go. Okay, I think what I am going to do, just lightly, I'm going to bring some pencil just sort of around the edge. You see, not all the way around that bottom edge there, just sort of around these side bits. Let's have a look. Let's go around the top there. See, I'm not putting much on, it's almost like a tiny little bit. You see, my white tortillon now isn't white anymore. Let's just give it a little bit of a depth in there as well. Alright. Just so it doesn't look like it's sort of floating in midair, it's got a little bit of shadow in it. It's always nice when you do it, not to go completely all the way around it, so that's why I've left that bit of... Oh, there you go, Sue, sorted. It's a little bit weird, and you'll find that your hand will automatically go back to what you're used to. You just have to remind yourself, maybe put a pencil line or a pen line on it and say blend 1, blend 2, blend 3. That might help. And then you can sort of see what you're doing with it. Or even if you have that tortillon at the side and you use another one, it just, there's always things that help. Okay, so there we go. As our tile, look at that. It's going to be lovely, a bit of colour on maybe that, isn't it? I'm not going to do anything else with it. You can go in with a bit more black pen and things like that. But I think that's probably enough, if I'm honest. I think I'm going to leave it and put my signature on it. There we go, 366. Now I look forward to seeing some of these in colour. I think it'll be quite nice, won't it? And you don't have to ink your tile, of course, but whatever works for you. So there we go. And yeah, I will actually do a quick video of what's going on around the place. You'll have to excuse the mess, but it's always the case, isn't it? But yeah, give me a chance to drink my cup of tea and then I'll come on and we'll do that for you. So, okay. Take care, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed that one. And we'll catch up again soon. Friday, usually, 2 o'clock as normal. We'll be fine. So, okay. I will see you all then. Okay. Bye.